Can I have you state your full name, your rank, branch of service, and battle roster number?
Christopher William Rabatzik, United States Army, R2740,
Rank, please.
Specialist.
Before deploying, what were your apprehensions before going downrange?
I was mostly concerned about death and how war would affect me in my daily life. The relationships with family and friends, and how my family would go on in the absence of my life.
So when you say death, do you mean like the death of yourself or the death of others?
Mostly the death of myself, before I really got to know my company and the guys I served with.
So you're a medic in the United States Army, correct?
Yes.
Can you describe in detail treating your first patient?
My first patient was during a 6-day mission where we were at the bottom of one of our OPs. We came into contact with enemy fire, and there were children in the middle ground between where we were and where the insurgents were firing from. One of the children was struck with a bullet, and naturally the Afghan people bring their they're wounded to us because they know that we'll treat them, and they have a better chance of surviving if we treat them than if they go to a medical facility in Afghanistan. Their echelon of care is rather weak. A child was brought to me in the back of a station wagon Toyota, covered in blood. They screamed "Doc," and I ran out. And I didn't know if it was U.S. or Afghan. I came up to the car, and they opened up the back, which I wasn't suspecting. There was a child covered in blood. Promptly lifted the child out, took them behind cover while we were still under fire.
And so now we'll fast forward past your deployment. What was the original adjustment period like when you first got back into the States? What was that like for you?
There was a lot of resentment, a lot of questioning what I could have done differently. Could I have done something different and saved certain people? There's a lot of struggle. People often PCS move to different duty stations, people that you bond with, and then the struggle ensues. It's not easy living your daily life when you think about the experiences and everything that comes with a combat deployment. The adjustment period took an extremely long time, and what I found helped the most was just taking time to myself to try and figure things out, because when you return from a combat deployment, if you're with people that were there, then it's easy to cope. But when you are separated from those people or return to civilian life, people don't understand the struggles or what you've seen, what you're dealing with. The sight of someone getting torn in half by an RPG, or someone's brains coming out of their skull.
What about the anger? How does that manifest itself?
Yeah, I struggle with anger quite a bit. Anger can come on from just someone acting very incompetent to someone talking about something that they shouldn't. Anger for me comes in the form of outbursts. I struggle with outbursts all the time.
Can you give me an example of an outburst you've had?
Outbursts for me can come in the form of yelling or hitting things.
what would you say to a person who's never walked a mile in your shoes and don't understand what you have to live through? What would you say to that person?
I'd, I'd just say keep your mouth shut unless you know um, the experiences other people have gone through. Um, I don't I don't claim to know what it's like to be a fireman running into a burning building or a police officer walking up to a car where the person could have a firearm. I don't claim to know what it's like to have cancer and not know if you're going to live the next day. Um,